My name is Kyle, and my colleague behind the camera is Daniel. We've been inspired to speak out concerning today's modern moral guardrails and the lack of them in today's world. We've often wondered why the media and educational institutions are continually informing us that Christianity is an outdated concept and that young people are turning away from it in droves. Well, to begin with, Daniel and I can personally attest to the fact that we encounter many other youth who really are becoming more and more interested in Christianity. And these are young people who want to hear about the Christian message doctrinally and morally. They do not want to hear that this is a stricture from a bygone puritanical age. They want to be told that this is the teaching, here is what Christ wants us to do. You wouldn't know this from many of our educational institutions, which have been striving mightily for several decades to preach that right and wrong are purely personal standards, outdated concepts, out of touch with modern realities, and that each person can invent his or her own and can change them as he or she goes through life. Or so it would seem. Christianity is so yesterday, really, according to them. And they certainly got what they wanted, didn't they? We're not even allowed to say Christmas anymore. And you certainly wouldn't know it from the media. If you were to take a religious pulse from them, you would be driven to conclude that thinking young people have no serious interest in Christianity really at all, and that organized religion is this bizarre structure of a demented minority. The way they tell it, you would assume that the only advancing religions really are voodoo, witchcraft, astrology, and palm reading, not to mention some other questionable religions which are truly bizarre, because that is what seems to command most of their attention. Of course, then, the media are also obligated to report on, and the educational institutions required to deal with the results of their teachings, like an alarming increase in criminal activity, for instance, particularly amongst those young people who've been taught to believe that the Ten Commandments don't really matter anymore. Actually, it's questionable as to whether these same young people have even been taught what the Ten Commandments are. The same institutions then have to continue to connect what they've preached with the results: a collapse of family structure and neighborly obligation, a loss of confidence in leadership, and an increasing loneliness as each person learns to live only for him or herself, serving only his or her own interests. In other words, you would expect to see them reporting on and dealing with a society that gave every evidence of total disintegration. Some might say that that is precisely what we do see today, so it would seem that they got exactly what they were aiming for all along. But we can reverse the process, and many young people who do not acquire their religious convictions from the media or from their school teachers or professors seem to want this. We can restore the idea of objective moral principles that apply to us all, and that in return will restore the point and the relevance of Christian religion and the foundation of family. We'd like to talk to you about this and really get your opinions. To discuss this further, please call at 204 228 7597. Thanks for joining us.